Hey, all you ghosts and ghouls out there, listen up. I'm just kidding. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another week with I'll Call You Right Back podcast, episode 42. As always, I appreciate you coming back and listening. Cool shit coming up this week. One that I'm very excited about. I'm going to go see one of the GOATs, Joey Diaz, this weekend. Up in Cleveland at Hoodies, so I'm pretty excited about that. If you guys don't know who Joey Diaz is, he's a comedian. This dude got stories for days. For days he has them. Real good friends with like Joe Rogan and like all them dudes, Burt Kreischer, so like that's kind of how I know of him. He's starred in some movies. I don't know if you'd say starred in it, but he's played some funny ass roles in movies, but he's a hilarious comedian. He's about to have a new special coming out on Netflix called The Degenerates. Christina Pajitsky, Brad Williams is going to be on there. Bunch of people, so that'll be dope. What else did I want to talk about this week? Oh, yeah. I got some dope-ass shit made for the podcast. I have these awesome t-shirts and hoodies. And they are both printed on real good quality shit, next level apparel. Nice blend of polyester and cotton. Got that nice poly blend feel to it. You know, nice and smooth up on your skin. But the shirts are definitely sick. I came up with this idea randomly. I kind of had like a weird dream that kind of made me think of this, and I wanted to make some clothes to see if you guys were into it, and I'm getting a really good response, so I'm going to just keep making some shit, and hopefully you guys like it. We got some big shit coming up. Episode 50. I'm looking for some really awesome guests, or guest for episode 50. I got some good shit planned, and I'm excited to figure it out and see how it all goes, I guess. Anyway, without further ado, actually, hold on. Halloween's going to be up. Halloween's coming up in, what's today, the 24th? Today's the 25th. Halloween's going to be coming up in 6 days, and let me just say something. If you yourself have a house and you're home and you're readily available during the hours of trick-or-treating, you better just, not you better, but think about giving out some candy. You know, if you went out years ago for Halloween whenever you were super young, like just kind of imagine on how fucking awesome it was. You know, like trick-or-treating was so sick to me, and I loved it. You know, that was always just a big deal. You know, you just get to walk around and wear a mask and go get candy for free. Like it's so sick. You're with your friends. It's just a good time. So if you're home and shit, buy some candy. Just hand out some candy. Your house won't get egged. Your pumpkins won't get smashed. Kids won't light burning dog shit on your porch. I actually don't know anyone who's ever done that, but that would be hilarious. But why not give out candy to some kids, like make their day. It's weak, super weak that trick-or-treating is during the day nowadays. I mean, I guess there's creepers outside and we live in a way wilder world than it used to be. But back in the day, I swear that we were out like all hours of the night, just running around, collecting fucking booty, just pirate booty. And it was just, we would come back with all of our treasure and fucking dump it all out on the floor in one of our basements, and then we'd just start bartering. I never fucked with like Milky Ways. I was trading boys Milky Ways for Kit Kats since back in the day. Huggies or whatever. I was out there trying to get that Turner's tea carton, Kit Kats. I loved a Twizzler and a Reese's Pieces. I was hustling. Reese's cups were a big deal for people back in the day, but I didn't really fuck with them. I liked the Reese's cup if it was frozen, but that was pretty much it. So Reese's cups were worth more. Those were like the $20 chips rather than just the singles like a fucking Milky Way. No one really cares about a Milky Way. But like a Reese's, and you're like, yeah, bro, what are you going to give me for these Reese's? And people were willing to let go of some shit for their holy grail. Luckily, though, that wasn't my wave. But that was just a good time. Hand out some candy if you're not heartless. All right, now without further ado, this week's guest is Dan Dobies. He is the head caretaker at St. Augustine Cemetery up in Shaler. So this is the ending of the Halloween-themed episodes for this month of October. I hope you guys liked them. I was trying to get some different people on here that had some shit that kind of had to do with it. But, whenever I think of death and, like, cemeteries, I obviously think of, like Thriller, and I think of Halloween. And I thought that, like, those, like, Halloween and cemeteries would go hand in hand. So, I found someone that was, like, a little bit younger who's, like, been doing this. Not just, like, doing this as just, like a side job, for a quick buck. Like, someone who wants to do this. And, like, this kid has been working in the same field for... forgive that's door slamming, but this kid has been working in the same field for like 16 years. So, one of my friends hit me up and was like, yeah, I know someone who does this, and he would be awesome to talk to. Super nice. So I hit this dude up and I was like, yo, man, I run a podcast. He's never listened to a podcast. So like, I was just pumped that he was vulnerable enough to come over to my house and chill and talk to me for a little bit. We talk about all kinds of shit, from like what he does on like an everyday thing to like, I don't know. We talk about all kinds of shit. By now, you know what kind of conversations I have on this podcast. It goes wherever it goes. But I appreciate everyone listening. Without further ado, episode number 42 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Dan Dobies.
Telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks, babe. Have fun. Okay, so what I do in the beginning to help everyone open up is I do a segment. It's called What's in the Cup. What's in the cup? So what's in the cup for you?
Unsweetened black tea.
Unsweetened black tea. Now, you're the first person that's had unsweetened tea. You see, you could hear that door as soon as she shut it.
Little attitude in it.
You definitely could hear it. But so unsweetened tea, you're the only person that's picked unsweetened tea so far.
All right.
And that's my go-to. Like I drink unsweetened tea all the time.
Yeah.
Now, why you've always been a fan of unsweetened tea?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I'm not a big sugar guy, so.
Yeah, see, like, were you never Turners or nothing like that?
When I was real young, I used to love Turners in a carton, but it's been 20 years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
See, it's been probably like maybe 6 for me, somewhere around there, 6 or 7, but it's just way, way too sweet now.
Yeah, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, and even like, I don't drink pop or anything.
Yeah, me neither.
But if I do have a pop, I'll have a ginger ale. But like unsweetened tea, like my parents always had like a tea maker with
some brew tea kind of thing.
Yeah, dude, with 2 pitchers that were always just interchanging, so it was just always a thing. They always had like the pink things in the thing, like sweeteners, but I never really used it. But I don't know about this 7-Eleven tea, so I'm gonna take a sip of it and we're gonna see how this is.
Yeah, I never had the 7-Eleven either.
Me either, but this is the only one that was up there. Like, that's not bad.
No.
That's not bad. Mm-mm. Do you have a preferred tea?
I usually go Pure Leaf.
Yeah, see, that's good shit. Or Trade Winds. Trade Winds got some good...
Trade Winds?
Twin Peaks or something.
No, Gold Peaks.
Gold Peaks,
Gold
that's
Peak,
it.
Yeah.
Twin Peaks is a TV show, and Trade Winds is a generic brand of tea.
Okay.
But, yeah, so tea's good. I do appreciate you coming out.
Sure.
Now, I told you before, for October, I wanted to have I wanted to fit the whole Halloween theme of October.
Yep.
And I guess I thought of, cemeteries and graves and shit as being related to that. Do you think that those two are like related at all?
I mean, to the average person, yes.
To an average person, that's a perfect example because before we started recording, you said you've been around it forever.
Yeah.
Are you like a Halloween dude?
Yeah, it don't bother me. It's cool.
Yeah, but you're not someone that like obviously we have shit up all over the house.
Yeah.
Like you just.
I don't decorate at all or anything.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. But this is just like a everyday thing for you.
Yeah, every single day.
How long you been doing this?
Since I was 14, and I'm 30 now.
So 16 years.
Yeah.
Same thing, and this is just always something you wanted to do.
No, it just kind of got a job there, a summer job when I was 14.
Yeah,
cutting grass and stuff, and then just turned in. I didn't want to go to school anymore, so I said, "Hell with it." And
yeah, for sure.
It's got there full time.
I mean, and it can't be that bad if you're there for
almost
2 decades.
No one bothers me. I pretty much make my own hours.
Yeah.
So
now, are you the only one that works there?
Yeah. Well, we just got taken over by a larger group, and they got me a company to trim grass, but I do everything else there. I cut all the grass, dig all the graves, and all the other stuff. So yeah. So,
whenever you first started out, you said you were just cutting grass there.
That's it. Yeah.
And you said your uncle was.
Yeah, my uncle. Well, altogether there was 5 of us.
Okay.
There's 3 kids. We were all cutting grass and stuff, and then there's 2 full-time guys. And they were the ones doing the burials and all that.
Yeah.
And but we would help them out if they needed help and stuff. But we just pretty much stuck to cutting grass the whole time.
And that's like a majority of the thing, right? Is cutting grass. I mean, like there's all kinds.
During the summertime, yeah.
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 Because like do you know how much land there is?
It's about 35-ish acres that I take care of.
Jesus. How many people were buried on there?
I think it's just over 16,500.
16,000?
Yeah.
Holy shit. And what it's called?
St. Augustine Cemetery.
St. Augustine.
Yeah.
And that's in Shaler?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where you've been since the beginning? Yep. Besides for the 1 year you went out?
I went to a different cemetery, which was like 4 or 5 miles away.
Yeah.
And then...
Now, what were you like in high school? Like were you were you someone who played like sports?
I played lacrosse when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
I played basketball in grade school, but
yeah. Lacrosse. We didn't have lacrosse at my high school. Where'd you go to high school?
Central Catholic.
Okay. Yeah. I went to Elizabeth Forward. I don't know if we played you or not.
I'm not sure.
But we didn't have lacrosse, but I mean like football, Ian's probably shit on us. But lacrosse is interesting to me because I've always I feel like that's like a mix between like hockey, soccer, and football.
Basically.
Yeah. Where you enjoyed playing it?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, yeah.
Now, did you get do you think that it was more physical than like football? It looks pretty physical.
The hitting part, no.
No?
I mean, you can hit. You're allowed to hit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it wasn't as prevalent as it is in football,
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? Football, it's every single play. Someone's getting hit.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What is what is like a practice like for lacrosse?
Oh, run
all day.
Oh, it was horrible.
That's why I think it's like it reminds me of soccer because it's you're not on like a court like a basketball because like you're just back and forth with basketball, but like lacrosse you're kind of like setting shit up and like making soccer type passes. It's always weird to me that people could just pass back and forth with them fucking sticks.
It's so much easier than you think too. Because I started when I was a sophomore.
Yeah, and
that was the first time I ever picked a stick up. It really wasn't that bad to get
really?
used to. Yeah, I mean, your first hour or two.
Yeah.
You're gonna be sloppy, but you pick it up pretty quick.
Lacrosse, that's definitely interesting. And you played till you were a senior?
No, actually, I was gonna play my senior year, but I had to work at the cemetery too much because I had to pay my senior year of high school.
Yeah, you had to pay for it?
Yeah, my dad made me and all my sisters and everything pay our senior year.
That's all right. I mean, like that makes you become a man quick. Yeah. That's pretty wild. Now, did you enjoy high school?
It was okay. I mean, yeah, I had friends and everything. It was cool. But
yeah. It wasn't
whatever.
like, yeah. I ask people because, like, usually, like, I'll ask, my wife has been on here before, and she hated high school.
Yeah.
And, you know, I loved high school. I loved it so much. So it's interesting because, like, some people like it, and it was a big point for people's lives, and some people just, like, didn't like it.
Yeah.
But, so was there anything, what did you want to do originally? Like, did you ever have...
I'd never really thought about it.
Yeah.
It was kind of a thing, you know, I never really cared.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to find a job somewhere. It wasn't going to be in a 9 to 5 at a desk. I just couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't
for sure.
stand the actual going to school. Like, you know, the actual academic part. I hated that.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah. And I hated sitting there all the time.
Yeah, you're just in a fucking cage.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. So I just knew it was going to be some kind of manual labor or some kind of trade or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never had
Makes
aspirations for something.
Like, what did your dad do? Like,
He was a welder for Duquesne Light.
Oh, okay. So
And he used to be a diesel mechanic before that, but yeah.
that's what's up. Yeah. So, like, my dad also was, mechanic, construction worker, all this shit. Mm-hmm. My mom, like, came up in, like, a corporate, you know, she worked at PNC and other banks her whole life. So, like, I had one side of my parents were, like, you know, corporate up all the way.
Yeah.
And then my dad was, like, the, you know, wrenching and, like,
blue collar worker.
Yeah, blue collar, just fucking hard work, you know.
Yeah.
Got my work ethic, both different kinds from them, but just different ways. Like, my dad was the same way. He didn't want to fucking deal with it either.
Yeah.
But then again, like, I talk to him now and he's like, you know, he was always very adamant to, like, telling me whenever I was younger is like do good in school because you won't have to do this backbreaking work. Because now
my dad did the same exact thing,
right, dude, and that's pretty much like it's because our parents just they were such hard asses because they just didn't want us to have to deal with the same shit.
Yep.
But I mean, like, it's not bad. Like, you know, I respect my father. I'm sure you respect yours. Like, it's like you respect that type of work.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. Like, my dad had me fucking picking up shingles and cleaning shit up back in the day.
Yep.
Like, just always. And same thing with, like, my uncles and shit like that. Never seemed to be like we'd ever have just, like, you know, just some time. It's just like we were out there working.
Oh, yeah.
Had a job forever.
Yep.
So what did you do before working? Like, you said you worked there whenever you were 14.
Yeah.
So did you ever have any other jobs?
I worked at Foodland in Bloomfield while
yeah?
I was still working at the cemetery.
Yeah, but
all my money from the cemetery would go to my dad to pay for school.
yeah.
And then all my money from Foodland would be my gas money.
Yeah.
Pay for my insurance and all that other stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. So were you a bagger?
No, cashier.
Cashier? How was it?
I hated it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I never had the pleasure of working at a grocery store, but I worked at, like, I've had fucked up jobs as a janitor. I worked at a gas station that had a store or that had a Subway in it that I had to work at. It's just like, there's the times in life you're like, there's nothing worse in the world than that second right there.
I just hated dealing with people all the time, too.
Yeah. It's just like, and the gas station I worked at was like, you know, it was like the central location of Elizabeth Forward. So you just saw everyone all the time. Ex-girlfriends, people you fucking hated in high school. So people were just there all the time. And you're just like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
But so I wanted to have you on because I thought that your profession is super interesting because I don't know anyone else that does it.
Yeah.
You know, and you said that, see? Like, you can definitely hear them siren.
Yeah, that's a lot of song.
100%. I keep it in there because it adds to the ambiance. But
of course.
I've been fascinated by it forever. And like I was telling you before we recorded, it came from like Night of the Living Dead and shit because I've been into like zombies and horror movies and everything and graveyards. Like that's why I think of them in the same way.
Yeah.
But you've been doing this forever and you've been telling, like you said on whenever we were talking back and forth, that like you pretty much handle everything there.
Yeah.
So like what are your responsibilities? Like everything?
I mean, the only thing I don't have to do is answer the phones because it goes to an office.
Yeah.
And they email me for the burials and all that, or they send me paperwork, what I have to do, and I just do it.
Now, can you run me through like what something like that is like? Like you'll get an email and it says, hey, someone died.
Yeah, and there'll be a whole form. It tells me their name, what section and everything they're getting buried in.
Yeah, and people have that planned out ahead of time?
Most people, some people, they have to buy them at the time of someone passes away, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go to the grave, make sure it's right, and lay it out. Then I go get my backhoe and a dump truck or tractor, whatever I need.
Yeah.
I go and dig it.
Like, how long does it take to dig a grave?
That all depends.
Like, what does it depend on, though?
The ground. If it's,
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, if it's muddy, if it's rocky, if it's whatever, if I have to move other stones to get in there, it depends if hillsides.
That makes
There's a
sense.
lot of stuff that goes into play.
Yeah.
But a normal grave, 20, 30 minutes.
Really? Oh, I guess because you have a backhoe.
Yeah, I have a backhoe, yeah.
That makes sense. Now, something that I wanted to make sure that I was that I remembered was, like, how deep do you have specifications on how deep they have to be?
Yeah, everyone says 6 foot. It's not.
I know, because
Yeah.
the funeral director that I had on here, I
Yeah.
asked her that. I was like, 6 foot deep. She was like, I think it's a little bit more than that. She didn't know.
No, it's a lot less.
It's less.
Legally, there has to be, do you know, the casket goes into a vault.
See, I didn't know that.
Okay. What happens after I dig a grave,
Yeah.
there's a company comes in and they put a concrete vault in the ground. It just looks like a casket, but a lot bigger.
Yeah.
That goes in the ground, and then the body goes into the vault, and then there's a lid that goes on there.
Yeah.
From the lid to the top to the surface has to be at least 18 inches of dirt.
That's it.
Yeah. So 48 inches is technically all you really need.
Now, I asked her about this vault. I think that she said the reason that there's vaults in there is because to stray away from, like, the ground caving in.
Yeah, especially because we got to take our machinery over it when you're driving over it.
That makes sense.
Because there's times you drive over in the older sections
Yeah.
and something just starts tipping.
So
Because they're giving way.
when was that kind of put into play?
They were around in the 30s and 40s, but that was really only for people who had the money.
Yeah. Now,
But,
so you're saying the vault was just the 30s and 40s, like that's whenever
that's when it started coming into play.
Oh wow.
But not until like the 50s and 60s it really became almost required.
Yeah.
To use them.
And is it required now?
Certain cemeteries, yes. A lot of cemeteries, no. There's some that don't use them at all. There's green cemeteries and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
They literally just put you in the ground. No, nothing. So
That's pretty wild.
yeah.
Now, a vault. So you just dig the hole and someone comes in and brings a vault and puts it in there.
Yes, I mean I'll put it in for them sometimes
Yeah.
for my machine if whatever. But yeah,
Now that's pretty crazy.
yeah.
I feel. And now, so someone passes away, you get that, they bring in the vault, and so after the vault, you just, like, do you set up, like, the chairs and everything that are around?
Well, we have a chapel, and they use it. It's a Catholic
okay.
cemetery, so most people go to the chapel. They do their final goodbyes or service thing in there,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and then they usually leave. Funeral director puts the body back in the hearse, and we take it over to the grave, and then we put them in there.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you see those things on movies with the device in there.
Yeah.
You set it and it lowers down real slow and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I have that stuff. You don't use it all the time, though.
Yeah, like, that's what I was going to ask. Like, I don't ever see, like, I've been, while you were talking, I'm trying to think of, like, the last few funerals that I've been to, and never once, I don't think I've ever been to a funeral where there was, like, that thing you see on TV
Yeah.
where it's just the casket that lowers.
Yeah.
I've never once done that. It's always been inside of, like, I guess a chapel.
Yeah.
It's just like we were all just sitting there and then say a prayer and then you just leave and go eat coffee and donuts and shit. And it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But so people don't use that a lot?
No, not. I mean, I still probably do 20 of them a year, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, how many people do you bury a year?
probably close to 100.
Oh, I thought it would be more than that.
Well, mine's a smaller cemetery compared to other ones, but
I guess that makes sense
Yeah.
too. Like,
I mean, there's one out this way, Resurrection Cemetery.
yeah.
I think out by the airport, and they do, I think, 300 and some a year.
Holy shit.
It all depends where you go.
How much is a plot? Do you know?
My place about $1,550 for one grave.
Now, what does that include? Does that include like
Nothing, just a space.
Wow, so just a space that no one's gonna be dug up and put in there.
Just what is it? 40 inches wide by 8 foot long. That's all it is.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and then it costs money for me to dig it, which is like another $1,400.
Really?
Yeah. And
wow.
then your headstone and all that stuff is more money. And
now, do you deal with like the headstones and like place all them and shit?
Some of them I do place. I do all the footers for them, all the foundations.
Yeah.
I dig down, pour the concrete for them, and everything.
You do all that yourself?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Like, they all would need to have it. You can't just put it in, some ground.
Mm.
Now, something that I found it fascinating, I actually just heard about was that like some people don't have headstones for like years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you keep track of like if someone doesn't have a headstone?
I know what you're saying already. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole cemetery, each section, it's laid out in a grid, and there's pins to mark each. What it is a section, then it goes to a lot, and then each lot has a grave.
Yeah.
So there's pins throughout the whole entire section, big squares basically.
Yeah.
And you just measure off the pins, and you know where everybody is.
Oh wow! Yeah. Now, can I ask you if you've ever had to dig up a grave?
Yeah. I just did 2 last year.
Why do you have to do that?
The lady, she was passed away. I don't know. It was like 2000, 2001, whatever.
Yeah.
Her husband just died, and he was actually getting buried in a national cemetery for veterans.
Oh, okay.
And they wanted her to be with him.
Holy
so
shit!
I had to dig her up, and then.
Now, what is that process like? Like, do you open the vault and you have to take the casket out of there?
This one I did, yeah.
Now, is that like, does that vault let that casket like not be like destroyed, or sometimes
yeah, basically,
they do?
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, there's always times something might fail or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, have you ever had to do any like dig ups or anything? Is in regards of like, as far as like crimes?
No, never.
I feel like I seen that on a movie recently where they dug someone up to do like since advances of technology, they wanted to dig up someone's body to do DNA testing or some shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe that's just something I made up in my head.
I'm sure it happens, but
that's pretty wild.
I never had to do that.
But is that usually the reason that there are dig ups?
To move to a different cemetery, basically.
And that's a common thing?
I mean, I probably only did like 5 years I've been there, but so not my place, no.
Yeah.
But I hear of other people having to do it a good bit.
Yeah, I never thought about like seeing people's tombstones that are like, husband and wife, and so like, sometimes do they get buried in like the same like vault?
No, not this. Well, there's one section we have.
Yeah,
there's vaults that are 2 people fitting them, one on top of each other.
Yeah,
but the other ones, no, they're all just one person in each, and they're usually side by side for the husband and wife.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
that's some intense shit. And you said you live on there?
Yes, I live there in the cemetery.
How long have you lived there?
Since 2012.
You live there by yourself?
Yes, me and my dog.
And you have a big ass Saint Bernard?
Yes, I do. Well, she's not that big, but yeah.
Well, it's Saint Bernard. I couldn't tell the sex from your picture.
Yeah.
But your dog, it looks pretty big. That's a Beethoven dog.
Yeah.
Now, does your dog just like run around? And
there's always people walking around and stuff, so I keep her on a leash.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So she keeps you company.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Murphy.
That's awesome. I can't wait to have a dog. I can't have one in here because my landlord won't let me, but else I would have like a whole litter of them. So do you ever get creeped out living there?
Like I said, my uncle used to run the place before me.
Yeah.
He lived there since the 70s. I grew up there. It doesn't bother me one bit. And I'm there every single day anyway.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. So like, are you someone that like do you watch like horror movies and shit like that? Or?
Yeah, sometimes.
But like you are so like you're in that world so much that it doesn't like
it's just a normal
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense because like if you were there every day, it's just like it's just work.
Just another day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another day.
Yep.
But people feel weird about going into cemeteries because like they're never there.
Yeah.
And usually if they're there, you feel
Oh yeah.
some type of way. Like
Especially when I moved there and my friends would come over and stuff.
yeah.
They would try to leave by like 8:00. They were all like freaked out by it. But
That's a good point too.
yeah, now that's another thing for them. They don't care anymore.
Yeah. I guess so. Now is your work like something that like you bring up and talk about? Like
I mean, people ask about it here and there.
yeah.
But
I mean, like, I feel like in all my years, I've never like, no one's ever just been like, yeah, I work at a cemetery and I do this and do that. That's why. That's why I get interested by all this shit.
yeah.
But I don't know. That's wild to think about. I'm still wild to think about people getting dug up and moved from one grave to another. But that makes a lot of sense. Like if you have a veteran, and I mean, I guess people get moved over and they want to lay next to the person. I'm sure I'll be buried next to my wife.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys have what are the buildings called that have
Mausoleums.
Mausoleums?
Yes.
You have that?
I have 5 of them.
And I don't really understand how that works. Like,
All it is they're granite fronts,
yeah,
and you take their doors and you just take them off, and then
slide someone in.
slide them in.
Wow, that's more expensive than a regular grave?
Really, kind of works out to be the same after you get a headstone and everything for a normal grave.
Yeah,
Because you think about it, the door is your headstone.
well, that's a good
So all
point.
you got to do is get your engraving on it and everything, and that's it.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like, do you? I'm sure you work with like all different kinds of funerals or
Yeah.
funeral
Directors and homes.
yeah, funeral homes, and
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Now, in your experience, are people usually like, is some people strange that you come into contact with that
Like
do
the
that
funeral
stuff?
homes,
Yeah,
the workers there.
yeah.
Not really. I mean, they're mostly all normal people.
I know,
Really-
and that's what's messed up because like I had that girl on, and I'm just like, I stereotyped it. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
like, you got to be weird if you're working with dead people and shit, but everyone just seems so normal. Mm-hmm. You are very, very normal, and like, I mean, I don't know anything about you, so like,
Yeah.
I thought it would be. I see you're wearing a Hoyt shirt. Do you hunt?
Yes.
So like,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you like, what kind of shit do you do for fun?
I shoot a bow a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love shooting my bow. And I play guitar every now and then. Not much anymore, but
Yeah.
I used to all the time.
that's awesome.
Yeah, just normal shit. Hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And you have people that come and chill like
Oh,
on
yeah.
the cemetery all the time.
Yeah.
That's
Get a
wild.
couple cases of beer. Just go out there and chill.
Yeah, that's wild. It's probably peaceful.
Oh, I love it.
I know.
No
you don't
neighbors.
have-
That's the best part about it. No neighbors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you get any sort of like do you have to pay to live there?
No, actually, my utilities are paid for except cable and internet.
Yeah,
So everything else is paid for. That's part of my salary, though. So
that makes sense.
yeah,
That's awesome though.
mm-hmm.
That's
don't have to
definitely-
drive to work and all that. It's
Yeah. So, what are your hours?
I'm salary, so I can pretty much do what I want. But I'm pretty much there 7 to 3:30 every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty wild.
Mm.
Now, do you have any is there any like bad shit that has happened where like ground what happens if like ground caves in or like slides out? Like, you ever have an experience with that?
I mean, I have those last or 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half, whatever it was. The ground was complete mud, and I had to go dig a grave on top of a hill, and then you had to drive from the bottom up. There's no other way to get there,
Yeah.
and it took me probably an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to the grave. It was
Really?
just a big mud pit. Yeah, I tore the whole entire section up.
Yeah.
But
So like, I mean, I'm sure you have people that are that have like loved ones in there that like. Do you have negative experiences with anyone there as far as like the way that shit is kept and like
hey, yeah, you always get a couple people that bitch about something.
that have like presentation like
Yeah.
oh there's weeds on here or
Yeah.
whatever.
But what do you want me to do?
Yeah, like how
I'm
many?
not going to sit there and pull weeds on everybody's grave.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't do that. I
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
no time for that shit. But,
Exactly. I'm sure you got other shit to do that's like that takes up your time.
Yeah.
Now, what like like, how many people do you say are in the cemetery?
About 16,500, I think.
And
count.
when's like the earliest person that's been
1892.
Holy
October.
shit!
Yeah.
You just know that real quick.
I wrote a report in high school,
Oh,
and I remember a lot of the shit from there.
that's kind of sick though.
Yeah.
Now, I jump around on this just because like I don't have a template and it's just shit that pops into my head. But you told me before we started recording that your sister was a funeral director.
Yes.
Now, how does that come into play? Because of like kind of like you had family that was in there?
She used to work for a church in Lawrenceville,
Yeah.
being a secretary.
Yeah.
And she got to know the one funeral home around there, and she was talking to them, and they asked if she wanted a job being a secretary. I think something like that.
Yeah.
Doing something at their place. So she said, yeah. I mean, she was, I think, 16, 17, whatever.
Yeah.
So she got a job there, and then she went to mortuary school and just became a funeral director after that.
Now, is like family gatherings, the Ian's like talk about the business?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we always mess around. I mean, she actually comes to my cemetery a lot. She's probably, her funeral home is probably my biggest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, she always lets me know ahead of time if I'm getting a funeral in or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is nice for me.
Now, how like how many do you normally average like a week?
Usually 1 to 2, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's 0, sometimes it's 10. You know, it depends.
All depends on how
Yeah.
quick people are running out.
Exactly.
Now, do you get a lot of the jokes like, "Oh, you got job security"?
Oh, yeah, I get that. You know, people are dying to get in. Yeah, all the stupid shit. Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's fucked up because like death is I hit the mic. Death is like I mean, it's fucked up for sure. It's it's sad and everything, but I feel like that there's a lot of like, you know, comic relief.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for you, is it like do you get like a certain feeling whenever you're like doing these things to prepare?
I don't want to sound cold-hearted, but no.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, I have buried family members and stuff.
Yeah.
That's harder by, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah. But for the most part, no. It's
just work.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be disrespectful to them.
No. I understand that.
But yeah, it's just a box going in the hole, you know.
That's interesting to me.
Plus, I never see the body.
Yeah, that definitely helps too.
Yeah.
Now, could I ask you if you're religious?
Here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not like crazy into it,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
like,
yeah.
I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't subscribe to any organized religion, but
Yeah.
you know, I believe in some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I like to think that there's some shit that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's fascinating because I feel like that I would be. I always told my mother like I would never ever live in a house that's next to a grave or next to a cemetery.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way that you explain it, it kind of like makes me understand that like it's not that big of a deal, especially if you're there every single day, just like working.
Yeah.
Now, do you have like vacation and shit that you'll?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's good. What do you do for vacation?
A lot of times I'll go up camp for a week.
Yeah,
I love doing that.
yeah. See, that's I'm either 100% in this shit, like you know, social media, addicted to my phone, you know, watching Netflix, or I'll be 100% away.
Yeah, just
and like in the
disconnected
woods
from everything.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. Where do you have a camp?
It's about 3 hours north up by New York. It's in PA, but it's in New York. I mean, it's next to the PA or New York border. So
that's almost exactly where mine is. I can't remember.
Mine's McKean County. I don't know if that helps.
Mine's next to like where all the vineyards are. I don't know. It's like right on the line of like New York and I gotta look now just because it's bothering me. But
this is Central PA, like North Central, my place.
Now, are you hunt, you fish and shit?
Yeah, here I don't fish nearly as much as I used to.
Ripley, New York.
Ripley.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Me either. It's just very random. My dad got a campsite up there and they just go up there all the time. He hunts and shit. He fishes.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to do it lately. Like I haven't been hunting in probably 5 years.
Yeah.
Same thing with fishing. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's nice to get away and just relax like that. Yeah.
It's nice to get away.
Yep.
Now, you said you buried family members and shit like that.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like that I asked the girl who was the funeral director, I was like, if it was a family member that passed away, would you feel comfortable like doing all the prep,
embalming and all that?
Yeah, doing all that. She was like, yeah, I think I would be, I would want to be the one that's like that because like, that you're taking the proper steps and like you have like a emotional tie to them. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like honorable to do.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like that, like you disconnect a lot of like personal shit just because you've been doing it for so long and you're just like there every day.
Yeah.
Now, what's like, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. Like, is there anything you dislike about the job?
I mean, cutting grass every single week.
Yeah.
Gets monotonous.
How many hours do you spend cutting grass?
A week, probably close to 20.
20 hours.
That's just sitting on a mower.
Yeah.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah. And you have the same like routine, how you cut everything?
For the most part, yeah. Unless something's really wet and I can't do a hillside that day or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you have to weed whack?
No, I got that company to come in and do that.
Oh,
that's anything. That's what I started doing. And yeah, I'm done doing that.
I even hated it whenever I was at my house.
Yeah.
It's like half an acre.
Yeah.
Like I hated weed whacking more than anything.
Yep.
That was my least favorite thing to do. Grass cutting, I feel like I didn't mind it, but I bet it would get annoying.
Yeah, I don't mind doing it at like my camp. I'll do that all day.
Yeah.
But sitting on a mower all day, I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for so long; it's just annoying.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, do you have a budget of shit that you could like go buy a mower if it like
that stuff is all with the management. They handle that.
Yeah,
they give me a budget every month for little things that I need, new shovels and.
Are they like cool about shit though?
For the most part, yeah.
That's good then.
Yeah.
At least you don't have like you got like decent equipment and shit.
Oh yeah.
That's good then. I guess
I got a lot of it before they took over too.
Now,
purpose.
Now you said that this place took over. Like, what does that even mean? Like,
what happens? We were owned by a church.
Yeah.
And so were another 115 cemeteries in the Pittsburgh diocese.
They were all owned by one church?
No, they were owned separate by their own churches.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're all parish cemeteries.
Yeah.
And the diocese ended up taking all 116 of us over.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're all controlled by the diocese now.
Do you think that that's a positive?
For the ones that were doing really bad, yes.
But now, what does that just like allow, like, an equal amount of work to each place? Is that like
no? It's hard to explain, really. But
yeah,
they took over all these cemeteries. Now they're in charge of all the maintenance on them.
Okay,
everything. Yeah. And they kept all the workers there, but there's a lot of cemeteries that didn't have anybody working there at all.
Yeah,
because either they're full or they just do one funeral a year.
They have full cemeteries.
Oh yeah.
So what happens with that?
Just maintain.
Oh yeah, just like keep it looking nice and everything.
Yep, cutting the grass, plowing the roads in the winter.
I guess
simple stuff. Yeah,
that makes sense. So like, there wouldn't be a lot of like cost for that. Just paying one person like keep trying to do all this shit.
Well, they probably don't even pay any like a person to work there. It's probably just they sub out the cutting.
Okay.
And then whatever. Like there's one cemetery that I have to drive to.
Yeah.
Just to plow in the wintertime.
Yeah. Oh, so I didn't even think about that. You do all that shit too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's why I'm there 24/7, 365. So.
Wow. Yeah. So I mean, like who is there if you take a vacation?
No one.
Yeah.
I mean, if a funeral would come, there's actually companies that would drive around and dig graves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Mm-hmm. You can just hire someone to come and do it.
Yeah, for a day or whatever.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's also other cemeteries around my place that can come over and dig for me.
Yeah.
But
so like, do all the like, are you cool with like other cemetery? What would you call your position?
I have no idea.
Like,
Just, I don't know, director, manager, I don't know, something like that.
yeah, because it wouldn't be like a caretaker. That's the wrong word.
I mean, it wouldn't be wrong, you know, if you
guess,
think about it.
It would just be more like theatrical.
Yeah.
I feel, theatrical.
Exactly.
I'm Augustine, is that what it,
St. Augustine. Yeah.
St. Augustine caretaker.
Yeah.
You know, you think about that, like someone says that and you think of like a creepy old man in a black suit.
Long, straggly hair, white hair. And,
yeah, dude, like it's definitely wild. Have you ever had anyone like film anything in there as far as like movies or anything like that?
No, when I worked at another cemetery, their movie, I forget what movie it was. It was a real low budget thing. They asked about it, but they never ended up doing it.
Now, is that like something that like is that like not something that is allowed to be done, or are they usually like all right with it?
I never heard anything saying you couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, no one ever told me anything.
Yeah, I guess because like I would just think of like people be like, oh, it's disrespectful, but like realistically, like, is it?
I don't think it is.
Yeah. Now, I've always like been weird about walking over graves. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that I obviously know that you're not someone that's just going to be like tiptoeing over graves.
Yeah.
Like it's just like your work. But
Yeah.
in your experience, like, do you see people during like their funerals, or you kind of just like in there, do what you need to do, and then you're out?
Oh, I'm there with them pretty much the whole time. Their
Yeah.
family members and friends or whatever. Yeah.
Now, it has to be interesting to see how different people react to different, like,
Oh yeah. You see everything from joy to
Yeah.
sorrow, anything in between.
yeah. And like other things that like so everyone that's buried in the funeral, are they usually all like, do you have to be Catholic to be buried in there?
You used to be back
Yeah.
when they were real strict about it and everything, but not anymore. No.
So like if I died tomorrow, I could be buried there.
You got the money? They
Yeah.
don't care.
Huh. Now, what if people don't have money to be buried? Like, what is another alternative?
Cremation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that expensive?
Compared to getting buried? No.
Like, how much does it cost to burn someone's body?
That I'm not sure. I don't do the burning or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not positive, but I think you can get them as low as like $650 or something like that.
Just to light someone up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. Do people still do services for people that are cremated?
Oh, yeah. I got a double one on Saturday.
A double?
Husband-wife combo.
They both died at the same time?
One day apart.
Holy shit.
That's what I said.
Really
I just found out
old.
this morning, yeah. Was it 80 and 81 or 90, 91, something like that?
See, I feel like that's awesome to me.
Yeah.
I feel like if my wife died, I would love to die a day
Right,
after.
yeah.
Wow, that's probably so insane to like.
I did that one other time about 2 years ago, but they were full body, both of them.
What do you mean? What's that mean?
Like they weren't getting cremated. They were.
These people are getting
these
cremated.
people were cremated. Yes.
Oh wow! Is there any people that are in the same casket together?
I know there's people that are, a body in a casket, and then they have a cremation in a casket. You can't fit two bodies in a casket.
They don't make like double caskets, like double wides.
They make bigger ones for large people.
Yeah.
But they also have to buy two graves to fit.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Now, how do you like from the time that you leave like the chapel or whatever, and like they put the body back in the hearse, and then you take them to the hole? Like, what is that process like? Like, how do you get that person out of there and put that person in a hole delicately?
Well, we have we take the hearse as close as possible to
Yeah.
the hole, of course, so we don't have to carry as much.
Yeah.
But take it out. It's either I have two boards sitting across the vault if it's out of the ground,
Yeah.
and you put the boards there, and you usually have a couple people. You lift up on straps, and then you pull the boards out
And let it
just
down low.
slowly let it down,
Uh,
and then you pull the straps right out. Or if it's on a lowering device, you just set it over there and just flip a switch, and it slowly lets it down.
that's pretty wild. Mm-hmm. I can't believe that it's only that shallow.
I mean, there's times like we can go double deep as well,
Yeah.
and that's 7.5 feet. But
What's the benefit?
you can put somebody on top.
Ah.
Like a husband and wife would just want to buy one grave, and they can get both going in the same grave.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Wow, double down. That's crazy. Because like I asked the girl, I was like, do you have to be buried a certain amount of, like a certain level deep? Because I thought that there was like a minimum depth, because like, you know, eventually like the smell might permeate a casket.
Yeah.
But I guess that wouldn't be, especially with like a technology of it now.
Oh yeah, with all the embalming and everything nowadays.
Yeah, like you probably wouldn't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But back then, I'm sure it was a concern, possibly.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
That's crazy. It's crazy to me that, like, I don't know. What about you? Do you have a preference whenever you die?
I'm just getting buried. I'm not getting cremated.
No?
I'm regular burial on the ground.
Now, do you think that it's, or you wouldn't want to be cremated?
No.
Why do you think? Why?
I don't know.
I think it's weird to think about being burned.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you're dead.
Yeah,
Who cares? But
it's still weird.
yeah, and I won't go in a mausoleum either
Why is that?
because they smell.
Really?
I have to crawl inside of them when I open them up sometimes to clean them out.
Holy
when I
shit.
have to put somebody in it, and they just stink.
And just like once they're filled up, they're just filled up, and that's just like a building that's there.
Exactly. And then what happens 100 years down the line when it falls over?
Oh shit!
You know, no one's there to take care of it anymore.
Has that ever happened? Like,
not that I know of, but
yeah.
You know, eventually all buildings fall.
Now that's a good point. Now, have you ever had an experience where, like, you know, a casket's like broke open and shit?
No.
Oh, that's good.
No.
In 16 years, that's a pretty good record.
Yeah, I mean, I've been carrying them before when the handles break and the casket falls. But yeah.
Wow. That's
nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, so does a casket like lock?
It's basically like a screw.
Yeah.
There's a certain tool you have to have for it. And they crank it. So you can't just, you know, go up. I mean, there's cheaper ones you can just pop open.
Yeah.
But the better ones, you know, they.
You know how much a casket is?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane that it's that much money to get buried.
I mean, I think you're looking at $7-8 grand for a normal traditional funeral.
How much is a headstone? I guess that could be anything.
Yeah, that could be anywhere from, you know, $1,000 to $50 grand. You know, it all depends what you want.
Holy shit! Now, can you tell? Like, if you went around to like the different plots and everything, you could tell. Can you tell the people that had money that don't have money? Like, is there like a minimal type of like setup compared to like someone that's like, you know, I need to have flowers here all the time and shit like that? Could people make them requests?
Not to me.
Yeah,
because I ain't doing it.
Not to me.
Yeah, I ain't doing the flyers and all that. That's all up to them. They do all their own flyers and everything like that.
Does a cemetery close at a certain time?
Every cemetery technically is dawn to dusk.
Yeah,
is open.
Yeah.
No one ever listens.
Yeah, so people are just in there.
I'll be sitting outside, you know, drinking a beer at 11 o'clock, and you'll see people driving around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Do you have like, you ever have people that are like kids and shit that try to go in there and like?
I've had kids there, but they don't do damage, and I don't want to mess with them because I don't want them to do damage next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with them.
As long as they clean up. I don't even care if they're drinking. Clean your shit up.
Yeah.
Then you can go.
Is there people that like don't though and just like leave their trash everywhere?
I mean, every now and then you'll see someone with a homemade bong left there or something like that. But if that's the worst they're doing,
yeah,
they're not knocking stones over and shit.
Yeah, you never had experience where people like
no vandalism ever.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
I think they
wild.
know because I'm there. Like, there's somebody there. I would think. But
yeah, and it's usually is all cemeteries have someone there.
No, that's almost a thing of the past now. There's only a
really?
handful that I know of that have houses on them.
What's like the most prestigious cemetery around here? Is there like a big deal one? Like, is that like
I mean, I know down in I think it's Virginia, the National Cemetery.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
place is massive. I heard. I never seen it, but I heard it's massive, and they do like 20 a day or something like that.
20 deaths a day.
Something like that. Yeah, it's
Holy
ridiculous.
Shit.
You have like a certain time you have to be there. If not, you're in the back of the line. You have to wait till the end of the day and shit. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
The dude that I interviewed last week, he runs a haunted house in, what the fuck is that called? Not Monessen.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Castle Blood. This dude rolls around in a hearse every day.
Yeah.
And him and his wife have hearse. And he's had one since, he said he's had one since the 80s. He used to be a clown. And it said, on the hearse, it said, "You'll die laughing" or something.
Okay.
He had, real.
That's cool.
Yeah, I would definitely whip a hearse around.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty interesting, though. So, you pretty much enjoy it, though.
Mm-hmm.
You've always someone that you've always been someone that has enjoyed your own time, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
Being not being bothered and shit.
Yeah. That's what I love about my job the most.
I feel like you have to be like that, though, to have a job like yours.
I mean, there's other people with the same job, but they work with 3 other people.
Yeah.
At the same time. So.
And how long has it been just you there?
2012.
Wow.
I had somebody there for a couple months then, but then we had to let him go. But
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah. I mean, I would have summer help every now and then to help trim grass and stuff. But other than that, just me.
Wow. That's that's pretty intense. It's definitely that's just, I feel like it would be even more relaxing to the fact that you've been doing it so long, it's just second nature to you.
Mm-hmm. For the most part.
And that's sick. You get to just chill with your dog there and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely cool. Do you play video games and shit?
Sometimes.
I'm not a video game. There's a Xbox controller, but that's just because I use it as a DVD player.
Yeah.
Are you a movie guy or anything?
I'm not huge on TV that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch it here and there, especially at night, but
Yeah.
I just don't
Sports?
sit there. Yeah. Hockey mostly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I played football my entire life. I don't watch it, not a second. But I do love hockey.
Yeah.
We have I bought into season tickets with my cousin.
Nice.
And we just go there. And
Me and my brother got a half season.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How many siblings?
I'm the youngest of 9.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
9 people?
Yeah.
Holy shit. You're the youngest, and what's the oldest?
4, I think.
So 14
45,
years old.
something like that, yeah.
Holy shit. What was that like growing up?
A lot of hand-me-downs. A lot of hand-me-downs. Yep.
I bet. I had so many just because of my brother.
Yep.
Wow. 9 kids. That's crazy. You get along with all of them?
To this day, yeah. Every single one.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Jesus, I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah.
Had to be insane.
Mm-hmm. It still is.
Big house whenever you were younger? Big enough? How many bathrooms?
2.
Holy shit.
Only 1 full bathroom.
How many girls?
6 girls, 3 boys.
Oh my God. That was probably what kind of work do they do? Are you and your sister the only ones that are in the death field?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All the other ones, one manages a grocery store.
Yeah. Normal shit.
Yeah, teacher.
What do they think about your job? Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, my uncle did. Like I said, my uncle did it since before they were born.
Yeah.
So we all just grew up around it.
Is he still around?
No, he passed away. That's how I got the house when he passed away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 2012.
Yes.
You were close with him?
Very. I mean, I worked with him every day for 8, 9 years, whatever it was.
That's a good point. Man, 9 kids, that's nuts to me. I thought it was crazy with just me and my brother. Christmas time, we'd have a fucking mess of people because my mom and my dad both had 5 siblings. Mm-hmm. So it's just cousins and just an insane
my
amount.
dad's one of 7. So
7? Jesus. Gotta be insane.
I can't remember how many. She's 6, 5, 6, something like that.
That's cool though, big family.
Mm-hmm.
That's wow. Yeah, the funeral shit this cemetery business is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely I definitely had a strong curiosity about it, just because
everyone does.
Everyone does, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you get people that are they find out what you do and then
then they ask me a million questions. Yeah.
What's the run of the mill cookie cutter questions?
What do you do?
Yeah.
Everyone thinks I just dig graves and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't think there's anything else to do there. But
yeah. So like realistically, you dig graves, you take care of the landscape, you form bases for the headstones and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there anything else that you're responsible for that like you wouldn't think of? Like you don't have to do too much. Is there a lot of paperwork with what you do?
Me, not really. I mean, just when I get like this foundations and stuff, I just have to sign off on them that I did them.
Yeah.
And send them to the office. That's it.
Yeah. Have you had a lot of negative experiences with people?
You get a handful here and there that just bitch uncontrollably, but
yeah. Like, what can you do? There's 16,000 things. Like, what are you supposed to do?
I mean, yeah, it's just sometimes it's just people being stupid, asking me where's my stone at, blah blah, but grass grew over it and they got grown over or something like that.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they just fall. You know?
Yeah. So like, if shit is like grown over, like, do you like? Is there a way that you like patrol the cemetery to like see? Like, do you just drive around and see like, oh, there's some shit right there that needs cut? Like, there's some shit over there.
I mean, I cut every single week.
Yeah.
I just
keep the rotation.
Yeah, I do that every single time. But I mean, yeah, you're gonna miss some stuff here and there. Yeah. Especially the trimmers, they miss shit all the time.
Yeah,
because of weed whack. So,
and it probably all falls back on you because like they think that you're the only one that's like they're doing this.
Yeah.
And
well, they always think that there's 50 people working there, but once you tell them I'm the only one, then they kind of back off a little bit.
That's a good point. All right, wow, that's very interesting. I feel like that like to people that are not involved with it. It's super interesting, but for you, it's just like every day.
Yeah.
Just like my job. Like,
yeah.
I make, custom pieces of piping. It's not that interesting, but, I guess like digging holes and cutting grass is the same, probably has ups and downs and everything, just like every other job.
Yep.
Okay. So, I do an ending segment for this podcast. It's called Desert Island Question. Are you familiar with The Office?
Yeah.
Do you like that show?
I haven't watched all of them, but I've seen a good bit of them.
Okay, so there's an episode where they get locked out of the office, and to take up time, they ask everyone, like the character Jim, he asks people what they would take on with them on a desert island, and I do the same thing. So I'd like to play that with you. I ask people, I give them 3 categories, and in each category, I give them 3 choices for each category.
All right.
To watch, read, and listen to. So the first category, you could choose 3 things to take with you to watch on a desert island. They could be TV shows, movies, whole series, whatever.
So TV shows?
Anything. TV shows, movies, anything.
Sons of Anarchy, probably.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You watch that Mind show?
I started to. I couldn't get into it.
I haven't watched it yet.
I've seen like the first 2 episodes. That was it.
My buddy who's into Sons of Anarchy pretty heavy, he said that Mayan show is pretty sick. He says it gets pretty sick. I was kind of disappointed with the ending of Sons of Anarchy.
So was I.
It's like that was the most corny thing I've ever seen. It's like, oh, let me just go into a truck. You're like, come on, dude.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's what he said his dad did, but
I
didn't like it either.
After all that crazy shit, with like being stabbed in the head with a fork and everything, like you're gonna just end it like that.
Yep.
Like I thought it could have been a little bit better, but that was a sick show. Yeah. My parents both they fucking loved it. That's the one who got me into it. Is my mom and dad. But Sons of Anarchy is a good choice.
Yeah. This is tough.
That's all right. That's why I let people know that
you can cut
you don't
it
have
out.
to like sit there and be like, oh yeah, and this. Some people will sit there because like they just take the time to think about shit.
I'd have to throw Joe Dirt in there.
That's a good one. It's been a minute since I watched that. That's a good.
Every
shit.
time it's on, you have to watch it.
Yeah. That's one of the movies. If it's on, you're just like, yep. Kicking wings, fire, snakes and sparklers. Man, that's
stuff that go boom.
I still have never seen the second one.
It's fucking horrible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's disgustingly bad.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
David Spade's hilarious. I just started watching. Adam Sandler came out with this new Netflix comedy special, and like he's a fucking nut job now.
Yeah.
He's lost his mind for sure, but I gave it a second to like try to watch it, and it's just him. It's like a whole bunch of different like sets that he's had in clubs, and it's just little pieces from each one. So it kind of is like, it's just like, it feels very back and forth. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people might like it. I'm curious to know what people think about it, because it's basically just him singing little like dumbass songs.
Like he used to back in the day.
Yeah. I feel like that this is like, you know, his last like chance to try to get to that point where he was before he like goes and fucking kills himself or something. Because he's definitely nuts.
Yeah.
All right. Sons of Anarchy, Joe Dirt.
Man.
Joe Dirt's a good one. It's been a long time since I watched that. Man. It's hard. You put it on this. Whenever you ask people, you can put them on the spot.
And you've got a million things going through your head.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Wedding Crashers. I just throw that in there.
Oh, that's such a good one. I've probably watched it 100 times.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't get old.
Doesn't get old at all. Just like, you know, I've watched The Wedding Singer 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's something that, those are all movies that if they're on, you just got to watch them.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Do you read at all?
Not really.
Okay, so I usually ask people books, but my second my question to replace that with is video games. Do you have 3 video games that you would take?
Probably not.
All right. Well, what about?
I mean, if we got an old school video game,
Yeah. That's
Crash
fine.
Bandicoot.
Oh, see, I don't play video games at all, but that
Back
was
in the
my
day,
shit. Yeah, that was my shit. Crash
Donkey Kong
Bandicoot.
for Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that was good. My brother was crazy into Donkey Kong and shit.
And I don't know if you ever heard of Intelligence Cube.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it was for PlayStation back in the day.
Intelligence Cube. What's that?
It was this big platform like his table.
Yeah.
And then you were this guy. He was like this big. He was
Yeah.
real small. And then there was a wall of blocks rolling towards you. And you had to get rid of the blocks. Like you had to highlight spaces and shit would blow up and all that stuff before the wall knocked you off of the platform.
Almost like a Tetris type thing mixed with like
Sorta,
some
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Tetris on steroids.
Yeah, basically.
That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Man, Crash Bandicoot, that was the shit.
Shit.
I guess that they just came out with them again.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
And I'm afraid to like, you know, get into it because I'm afraid that I would just like
Sit here and just binge it.
Yeah,
and
take
just
days
stop.
off of work,
Yep.
you know, on them jet skis and shit with that mask. Like those things were so sick.
Yep.
Collecting all them apples and shit. Man, it's nostalgia for sure.
Yep.
Okay, now I'm curious about this. I'm always curious about what people would take with them to listen to. So if you had, you know, whatever. Some people will pick greatest hits, which is a good idea, but it's interesting.
I mean, if you're going...
You could literally
Anything.
pick anything you want.
I'd have to go... I've been listening to Neck Deep a lot lately.
Oh man, I just got onto them a little
Yeah.
bit. My buddies are the ones that put me onto them.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
That's definitely good shit. Are you like a pop punk type kid?
Sorta.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to... I wouldn't say everything, but
Yeah.
I get a good mix in.
Yeah.
But
Neck Deep is definitely good. I'm just new to them, so
Yeah.
like I don't even know any like titles of the songs.
Yeah.
But if they pop up on like a
oh, you know their voice. Yeah.
like an Apple
Yeah.
playlist, usually all of them are just good.
Yeah.
I enjoy them.
I would have to throw Pink Floyd in there.
Okay.
I don't know, something about Pink Floyd I still love to this day.
I don't think anyone has ever picked them as one of their choices.
Oh, you just sit back and relax to that all day.
My favorite
That's
my favorite Pink Floyd song is Money.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a
like
good one.
I still listen to that. It's been a minute, and then it came on the radio the other day. Whenever I forget, I think I was in one of the dudes I worked with. We were going to lunch, and it came on in the car, and I was like, "Fuck, man, this song is so good."
Yep.
It just reminds me of my dad and like rolling around with him in his truck.
Yeah,
That's so good. Neck Deep and Pink Floyd. That's a good
there's a
opposite
big
spectrum.
And then, whew. I might have to throw Leonard Skinner in there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's definitely a solid choice.
yeah.
My what's your favorite song by them?
Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
Oh, Simple Man by far.
That's a good one. I think my favorite is Tuesday's Gone. I listened to that again recently, just because like I came across. I was listening to Greta Van Fleet. You know who they are?
Yeah.
So on their radio station, Leonard Skinner pops up a lot, and Tuesday's Gone came on, and you're just like, "Fuck, man, this is such an epic song," and like, All that music back then was so good.
Oh, the whole 70s
Yeah,
classic rock and southern rock. And
I'm
all
sure that
stuff.
like your dad was into it, so like you kind of
Not really.
No.
No, my dad's he's just a
Wow.
working guy. Like he's not into anything.
How'd you get into the music? Just your own.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I have a lot of, and my sisters and brothers would listen to shit and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
My dad just always had like, Stevie Ray Vaughan, all kinds of shit just like playing. There's some albums like really like set off like a trigger to make me remember him.
Yeah.
Double Trouble, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Bon Jovi, Dead or Alive. I don't know why that just always reminds me of
that's
it. And
my
like
sisters right there.
all the Led Zeppelin shit.
Yeah.
It's just like Led Zeppelin all day. You like Greta Van Fleet?
They're not bad. Yeah.
I went to see them live, and it was like one of the best shows I've ever seen.
I did hear that
life.
they were good on live. They were good live. Yeah.
It was like people listen to them and they're like, oh, there's just these young kids biting Led Zeppelin. But it's like at first I thought about that, and then I was like, I mean, like these kids like they're like doing themselves a disservice to try to be like them because no one even listens to that type of music anymore.
Yeah. No one knows who they are.
Yeah, no one. But these fucking kids sound just like them,
It's
and from being
insanely
from Detroit, and you're just like, Jesus. But
Yeah.
their show was seriously insane. I guess they just came out with an album. I'm gonna have to listen to that too. Okay, so second to last question is the death row meal. So if you were gonna fucking die tomorrow, and I let you choose whatever you wanted to eat as much from wherever, what would it be?
My mom's pierogies. Oh,
Oh yeah, pierogies.
not even a question. Yeah.
Oh man,
Homemade pierogies. Hell yeah.
I love a pierogi. She makes some mean ones.
Fuck, dude. You have no idea.
Man, you were quick to it. You were so quick to that. That's a good answer, though.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Okay. You know what the Delmont Apple Festival is?
Nah.
It's just some like apple festival in the middle of this fucking field, and it was just a sopping mud pit.
Yeah.
The only highlight of this festival was these people that made their own. It was called something pickle, but like they made like their own sriracha and shit like that. But then there was also this pierogi stand.
Yeah.
But they were these mini ass pierogies.
Okay.
They were so fucking good. And like that was the last time I had a good pierogi.
Yeah.
And Bingham Tavern got good pierogies. All right. And the last question that I ask everyone is if you were able to have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why? Now hold on for a second. Usually people will choose a family member, but you could choose a family member, but I would also want to know someone that is not any relation to you that you would want to.
Anyone alive or dead?
Yeah. A lot of
That is
different answers.
that is a tough question.
There's so many different answers. Like people will answer and say like, Randy Marsh from South Park. Someone said that. People have said all kinds of random shit. Usually will people say will say their family though, but like that's a given, I feel.
Yeah.
Like if anyone's parents have passed away, usually people will be like, my parent. Which
my
makes
one
sense.
brother, I never met my one brother.
Yeah.
Because he died when he was 9 months old. But
so
that would be one, but
yeah, exactly.
It's still family, but man, I don't know. Shit,
This is why I ask these questions, just because like
get you thinking.
Gets you thinking, and it's just like kind of we talked about like your your job and like what you do, but like it kind of like lets you know what type of person you are.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Music and movies are like just huge things to me. So 3 movies that someone picks, you kind of tell like how a person is. Like Wedding Crashers, Joe Dirt, and Sons of Anarchy. Like you can kind of have a little bit of an idea of what you like.
Shit,
it's hard.
It really is.
It's a hard question. You want to know what mine is?
Sure.
My choice would be Robin Williams, I think.
Okay.
I think that he to just be able to sit down with someone and have a conversation with just a random ass person.
Yeah.
I tried to think of people that are not like, like it would be awesome to talk to like, historical figures, like, people that did wild shit. But like, if it was just someone that like, I think would be just so interesting, it would be him. because like, you know, you think of him and you think of like the comedy, you think of like the drugs, you think of him as like Aladdin or the genie from Aladdin. And it's just like that dude had such like a wild ass, and then he killed himself. So like, like you got under like you couldn't even. I feel like I couldn't imagine what.
Yeah, going on in his head.
Right.
You know, speaking of that, you know, because I want to know what goes on in this guy's head. Stephen King.
Stephen King. That's a good fucking
one
answer.
Fucked up individual. I can't imagine what nightmares he has.
You know, I follow him on Facebook, and he seems like the most real, like the most normal person. But he was a drug addict for a while, so like he said a lot of his movie or a lot of his books and everything were influenced because of that.
Yeah.
But I guess he's like sober now. But like he posts pictures of his corgi. And like its name is Molly, the evil thing. So it'll just be a cute picture of a dog, and you're like, this motherfucker like wrote these weird ass books, like It, and like all this shit, and you're just like, you know, you would think him to be like a freak, And I'm sure he's kind of got to be kind of a freak,
somewhat,
you know what I mean. But that's a good answer. That's a really really good answer. Definitely a good answer. All right. I mean, I usually give this time to you to plug anything you want to plug. There's not really any reason anyone wants to come to your fucking work.
Nah, I don't think so.
You know, unless you're dead. All right, dude, I appreciate you coming on here.
Not a problem.
Now, you told me before we started recording you've never listened to a podcast.
Nope.
Now, what was your first experience of, you know, like you got thrown to the wolves.
Yeah.
I mean, you've never even listened to one, and now you did an episode of one.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think about it?
It's cool.
Like, do you think I'm sure it's not anything you haven't experienced with people just asking
That's
questions.
Basically, it just seems like you're sitting at a bar just bullshitting with somebody.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's a good way to look at it, I guess. I guess it's nothing
real
new.
laid back, kind of just chilling,
Yeah, I try to, I mean, like, you have some people on here that are just, like, weird. Like, I didn't know if you were, like, into talking. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting for me, too, because you never know how people are going to...
Oh, yeah, you're rolling a dice every time you get somebody you don't know or whatever.
Like, some people could just be, like, you know, not open up and, like, kind of be weird. Like, there's some people I've had to, like, fucking peel away like an onion. Like, in the beginning, they're just super cold, and by the end, they're, like, talking a bunch. And, you know, it's definitely cool, but I appreciate you taking the time out. Mm-hmm. People that are listening... this is officially the end of the Halloween themed episodes. I appreciate everyone that's followed along with it. Social media. Oh, besides that, t-shirts are in. T-shirts and hoodies. Hit me up. Let me know if you'd like one. Anyone else? Follow me on social media at I'll Call You Right Back. Facebook, I'll Call You Right Back Podcast. YouTube, I'll Call You Right Back. Twitter, at ICYRB Podcast. You guys know the deal by now. Find me wherever else. Email me, give me some feedback. Please rate and review. Call me a piece of shit, whatever you want to do. But I do appreciate you listening. I'll call you right back.